Hey guys, Sam here with you, midday Thursday, February 15th, and I'm kind of staying with this theme today of how to go about looking for a new trade. So again, I'm just here on TradingView's cryptocurrency market overview. And let's say you come in and you've got some money you want to put to work, and you're just kind of going through the board here, and you're looking for, we just looked at Ethereum Classic for a different reason because there had been some buzz and some news about an airdrop. But if you came in here today and you're just looking, all right, well, what's rolling today? So we come down here. Well, Lisk is kind of interesting. Good. These are all interesting. Oh, well, look at Waves. Waves is really on a tear. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's go look at Waves. So first we can go over here and we look at this and say, all right, what's happening here? Well, I don't, if you want to put a lot of merit into their rating here, but it's it's worth noting that they've got that as a strong buy. I'd come over here. I'd want to also check it, just as I often encourage you to. I'd go over here to CoinGecko if you didn't know much about this project. Well, this is of course interesting. So it's been around for over a year, so it's got some history. So for us as chartists, that's worthwhile. 65 on their score, right? That's as I always suggest, 50 or higher. But look at this development, 81%. So this is a strong project. We're 778 million. We're on our way to $1 billion, it would seem. So we come back over here and we look at this and go, okay, well, if I'm back over here. So what I want to do is I want to see where's the volume. I always want to know where the most volume is here. And I can see it's split between Bittrex and Binance. So I've got it up here. I'm going over, this is Bittrex. All right, so we can look back and look at some history. So we've had the classic, we see it in all the alts. Here's the big move up, and then we give it all back. And we go back down. So we go back to this consolidation zone. Again, I don't know that I would call that a 1-2, but you could make that case. You certainly could make that case that you because of the fact that we stay internal here. So if we go swing low to swing high, we're past the 786. You could check the 887 just to see if it held it. It looks like it might have. Yeah. So here. You can make that case that you've got a 1. Here's the A. Here's the B. So if we allow for that, you could make that case that. So here, any algo activity. Whoops, wrong one. We're looking here from the swing low. Well, that shouldn't be much of a surprise. Here's the 50. They get paid, right? So here's the 50. They short it. Here's their target. Comes back down, tests again. But now we're getting some movement off of this as a good low. So whether you want to call that as a 1-2 or just a complete recycle, right? We trend in 5s, we correct in 3s. So you'd have to consider the possibility that this is a 3 wave. So if I work from this last pivot here, you can see, well, we've gone to the 50 again, right? And here's the target down here. So at some point we're approaching 0 here. So, if you're looking at this now on the idea that given the strength, what we just looked at, the high ranking and on the metric score at CoinGecko, the fact that we've already tapped here an algo target, there's the potential here that we're starting into a new 5-wave structure. It's got that potential. So let's dig in a little bit closer. Let's go down to the 4 hour and see if we can make a case for a trade. Again, the idea is, is this a place to consider putting some new capital to work? Well, just at first glance here, as I look at this, my eye would be looking to put an Elliott count on it. Can I get a 1, 2? I can certainly that looks reasonable. That's the length of the 4, the complexity of it relative to the 2. I don't love it, but we know that it's on the move here. So looking at that now, well, okay, so we've overlapped the 1, obviously. So if we're going to play it as a 5-wave sequence, our best case is that we get a diagonal, which is where we'd expect it in a 1 wave. So given that, well, so I'm going to wick off this low. So I know the low that I'm working from. And just get that mark so I don't have to keep coming back to it. Well, since I've got a diagonal, I'm going to pull from my absolute low to my 3 high. Looking for anything technical here. Well, you can see, boom, boom. Now it gets through it. Well, that's deep for a 4. So I don't love that. Now I would come back here just as I did on the larger degree and say, okay, well, we tapped that a couple of times. Well, that's kind of interesting. We come here right to the golden zone on the way down. So you can see here it's going from golden zone to golden zone to golden zone. And here now it's a little weaker here. So I would look again. Now do I have anything here to give me a target? Well, now look at that. right? So here now we get this sort of building a case that potentially I've got an algo target that's been tagged here, and now I'm starting to move off of that. I can make that case. You know, it's deeper than I would like to see it in a fourth, but given that I've got this nice hot box here where I've got all this confluence of algo targets, right? So this may be the one that they work from, and now we're getting a reaction. So if we work from that assumption that we've now got a low that we can work with, you know, let me just check one thing here. I would say, do we have this as a possibility? Yeah, we could. This is another contender, right? So this is you got to look at these and say, that could play as a completed 5-wave here. So this actually, now that I look at this, you know, again, as you're recognizing, I don't pre-script these, I don't work these out. I just, you know, pull it up, and here's exactly how I would approach this. You know, that looks like that could be a better play here, so and better structure than what I saw at first glance. So I look here and go, well, you know, yeah, it's deep. We know for a 2 it can be at 50 to the 786. 786 holds it here. Here's the algo target, reaction. So maybe these are the pivots that they're working with. That's deeper than you'd anticipate, but it plays. So here's the tell. It's not this. It's the reaction here. So then we get a reaction. So then I'd look at that and go, okay, well, if that's my 3, well, now what's happening here at the 4? Well, I get it again. So here's where they'll start entering at the 50. I'm just going from swing low to swing high, potentially as the 3rd. Here's my 4th, Vegas wave, just beautiful. That's why I love the Vegas wave. Great level of support here. They start buying. It's a little front run on the 50. I've got prior resistance here offering a little support. Boom, up they go. They get their target again. Right? They do get paid. Well, now I look at that and I go, okay, wait a minute. I like the fit of that a little bit better. So that would imply to me that I've got a 1-2. Now I like this all the better already. So now I put that in white and go, okay, now this is now I like this better than I did. So now I'm going to say here I'm going to go to a lower degree, just so I it makes sense. Okay, so now I'd look here and I'd go, okay, now I've got potentially a 1. Here's my 2. So now the fact that it gets through, you know, I can allow for that a little bit more, given that I had that algo tap there. If I'm playing it as a 2, just as this 2 went deep, you know, we're going to run into some resistance, right? Because the algos will have flipped here. So we know we're going to run into that. Right, so coming back the other way, if I go swing low to swing high, well, we're gonna hit resistance here. We're gonna hit resistance here. So, what would that play in the context of what I'm trying to get on board of? Could this be a 1-2? If that's true, then I'm looking for a 3rd up here. I know I'm gonna. Well, so first I'm gonna hit resistance at the 50. So that could play as a 1-2. Let me get that back. So that we could have 1, 2, 3. We'd come down. How would we know? We don't know until we see the reaction for a potential 4. If we get this as a 5-wave, then potentially now this 2 is starting to solidify as a potential low here that's sending me into an impulsive structure that would set me up for a 3rd. Now we know the 3rd relative to this 1 is going to be much higher, right? And as I've shown you many times, we can use the negative 100. We can eyeball that. That's going to be very close to the 1618, which is our high probability zone for a 3rd. So now I'm looking at this going, okay, I like this all the better. So I have an A, B, I've got an A, B, C. You can make a case for a WXY. A, B, C, X, A, B, C, right? X just connecting the 2. We don't want to see a triangle there, but a combination, we can allow for that. So 1, 2, now let's dig in. Let's go down to the hourly. Do I have a trade here? Or maybe a trade that's setting up where I can get some confidence off of this. Well, let's start measuring. Now we know I'm going to take this off. So we're working for this as a 2. I know I want to have this on because I know I'm going to run into algos that are selling there. So if I look now here and I go, all right, okay, ooh, that's ugly. But I can work here as a 1, 2. Well, we've just gone 100%. So now I'm looking here going, okay, there's the high probability zone for my 3rd. So this could be playing as 1, 2, we'd be looking 3 here, 4, 5. You know, I know I'm going to run into resistance here. I got to get on the other side of the 65 to get the algos to flip. Yet again, because they've already flipped. So I know I'm going to hit selling resistance here and here. But that doesn't mean I can't get through it. It doesn't mean that the opportunity for this to go up to those upper levels isn't there. It just means I know I'm likely to hit some resistance here. So should I get this here, which is my probability zone for this as a 1, 2, and you know, we might have the 2 over here for a shallow C. That's possible. So that bumps this up a little bit. So I'm looking anywhere up in this range. That would be the roadmap that I'd be playing. You see we're getting traction here. So if you didn't catch this off of the 1, 2, well, we're not going to chase it here. That's not the idea. But this is a coin that's on the move. So I want to be alert to this, and I want to know. So I would alarm it here at the 50. Do I get a reaction here? Algos are going to start selling it there. I know that. Right? They're going to keep defending it all the way here. We got to get on the other side of the 65. So can I get through it and get to my third? Right? That would play on anticipating what they're going to do. So that might set me up for my 4. So there's a viable roadmap here if that's my 2. So potentially I've got a roadmap here. So I'm going to wick this off. Now, can I construct a trade here in a roadmap that would make sense, knowing what I'm going to run into along the way? Now, you start building a case for it. Is this a roadmap that could play? 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I know? I'm not going to know until I see the reaction at the 4. I'm not going to know. But is that a tradable event? Sure. Right? So we'd be looking, if this is the third. So again, I go hypothetical here now. If I work from this as my 2 and I go up to the 1618, I know my likely zone here for my 4th is going to be between the 38 and the 50. If I'm going to stay impulsive, I don't want to overlap the 1, but here's the 65. I know it's getting cluttered here, so let me pull this off. Right, so here's my 65 on the other side of the 1. So if I were going to be a buyer in this zone, I don't need to give it too much beyond the 65, because then I could very well be wrong there. So this could end up being an A, B, C, and then this, take that off. So this if this fails, this is what I'm trying to get to, and we start heading back down, then I know I've got this target here, right? The algo target then bears win. Right, so it's just setting up a potential roadmap. So you got a couple of choices here. You can wait by the 4 on the assumption that we're going off of this as a too low. So you're building the case. Potentially, I've got my ABC in, and whether it's a WXY, either way, I'm working off of this as my good low. 1, 2, do I get a 3? Here's the next trade, because we're too late now. You can't. Well, you can buy it there. I wouldn't buy it there because your stop's got to be way down here. Why take that much risk? I'd rather buy it here with a much tighter stop looking for the 5. If I get the 5, so again, hypothetical. Let's say we go from 2, here's my 3. Here, look where the 5 is. Look where the algo target is relative to the 5. There's the negative 23.6, right in line with where I know I'm going to hit the resistance from the algorithms that are going to sell it working from swing high to swing low. I know I'm going to hit a bump there. So what does that mean? So potentially now I start constructing a trade going, okay, that would be an ideal place for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense? Could that play out? Well, let's go to a different color. We'll go up a degree or 2. We'll go to intermediate, right? So can I get a 1 here? Well, that would just make perfect sense with what I'm already seeing. So, I start over here and go, okay, waves is on the move. So that's what points me over towards the chart. Well, given what I'm seeing now and just going through that in real time as I would, just the kind of the backing into where could we be in this? I can build the case for a trade here. So this is certainly something I want on my radar. And where are the other confirmations that I want to pay attention to this trade? Well, I sure like this. I like this. We're not over $1 billion yet, so this is a comer. I like everything I see here to get onto the bullish side of it. But I know I got to deal with this resistance. So roadmap, potential roadmap, knowing where I'm going to hit likely resistance. If I hit it, then all it's doing is confirming what I think I'm going to see here. It's all just potential, But could I get a 1? So if you're waiting for the 4, so your first trade here is looking for the 4 to the 5. Right? It's not a home run ball. So if you bought it, we split the difference. We go up for our target here. Let's get this opened up. So what am I looking at there? If I get on the other side of the 65, you know, it's not a home run ball. So you might say that's not enough. I can only get 2-to-1 there. You know, it may not be enough. So now you look at it and say, okay, I'll wait to confirm that I get 5 waves there. Right now I'm going to wait for the 2. Well, now if I take the 2 here, right? So if I go up here, if I confirm, if I confirm it, right, that I get off of this low, that I'm going to get a 1 wave here. I get 5 waves off of this low. If I go up to here, I know my target here for my 5th is right here. So now I'm a buyer at the 50. Stop on the other side of the 65. But my target now is way, way, way up here. Right, so now I've got much, much better looking risk reward. So here's the stronger play. Right? So we start just identifying a coin that's on the move. Is this a trade you want to take? You know, I look for 3-to-1 as a minimum. This, now I've got 9.5-to-1. So no trade today, but it's certainly one that's on the move that I want to pay attention to. Potential roadmap. So this is all, remember, it's waves within waves within waves. So if I put that on and I put the wave on it, this is what I'm trying to get into. Can I get into the third? If this is the 2, would be the third of the third. That's your money maker. Third of the third. Can I find a way in there? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I've got a 1 yet. This could, you know, what's the date there? That's 2/22, right? So you can are you so impatient that you can't wait a week? You know, this would go to my watch list for sure. Right? So I'll let that shape up. Tell me I've got a 1. I know I've got enormous upside. And this is just the 3 off of this. Right? This 3 is even higher. Right? That's way the hell. I already took that off. But we know that as potentially the 5th of the third is going to be way up here. So is it worth waiting for that? You tell me. All right, guys, I'll wrap it there.